In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up the return tracks for your large session mix. Here we have our session with the drums, bass, guitars, synth, all the vocals, and the submix tracks. All of those submix tracks are routed into the submix master, and there's a master fader track sitting on the output bus. But we are missing our effects tracks. We need reverb and delay tracks. We're going to need at least one reverb and at least one delay track. When I mix, I usually have 2 or 3 of each, sometimes many more depending on the situation. But we're going to stick with one reverb and one delay track for the sake of this video. So I'm going to go to my vocal submix track and select it. This way, any new tracks I create will appear immediately to the right of it. I'm going to go to my track menu and choose New. Once again, I'm going to use stereo aux input tracks, just like we use for the submix tracks, but this time we're going to use them for effects return tracks. I'm going to name this one Reverb, and then I'm going to click the plus to add another one so that I can name it too. I'm going to call this Delay and hit Create, and there they are. The next thing I'm going to do is color code these tracks in my usual way. I double click on the color tab, and I always make my effects tracks this sort of bright neon blue color. Then I'm going to solo safe the effects return tracks by holding the command key down and clicking on the solo button. Of course, that's control click on a Windows machine. Notice that there's no input for these. The inputs will be created when we have our first send. Now, I am going to go all the way to the drums, and I'm going to click and shift click to select the entire range. If you remember from one of the earlier videos, you can hold down Shift and Option, and whatever you do will be applied to all of the selected tracks. In this case, I'm going to send A, and I'm holding Shift Option down or Shift Alt on a Windows machine, and I'm going to press the Send A box. I'm going to go to Track all the way near the bottom to Reverb, and it put a reverb send on every drum track. I'm going to do that for the basses as well. Here we go. Track, reverb. And you're going to continue this process for send A for the guitars, the synths, and the vocals. Then we'll do the same thing on send B for the delay. Okay, now we have reverb and delay sends on every audio track. We may not use every send, but we have it available to us if we want to use it. Notice I did not include the reverb and delay sends on any of the submix tracks. I also did not include them on the reverb and delay tracks themselves. If you feed a track into itself, it can cause some feedback issues that you're not going to want to deal with. So for right now, I'm just putting sends on the audio tracks. The next step is to command click or control click on the arrows next to those sends so I can see the send faders on every channel. Then, in our mixing process, after I've added EQ and compression, after I've balanced and panned all the tracks, I can blend in reverb and delay very easily with this setup. Of course, I don't want to forget to put my reverb and delay plugins on the effects tracks. For instance, Air Reverb and Air Dynamic Delay. In the next video, I'm going to go more in depth into the delay plugins to show you the parameters and what they do.